Now that we understand the conversion process a little bit better, I want to show you the function that we're going to use to do this conversion, and then we'll start to implement it inside of our form. So I'm going to pull up my JavaScript console right here. The function that is built into JavaScript that we can use to do this conversion to us is called B2A. So we call B2A with the string that we want to convert into a base 64 encoding. So I'm going to put in the same string that we were using as a demonstration in the last video, SEC. And when I throw that in, I get back the same stuff that we just saw in the last video, C to capital V and J. If we then have a base 64 string and we want to turn it back into normal characters, we can call A to B. And then pass in that same string, or the base 64 string. And then we get back SEC. So B to A and A to B makes our life really easy, especially for this application. Let's now start to use the B2A function right there to take whatever text a user enters. We're going to encode it, and then we'll throw it into an input that will display on the screen that a user can easily use to select that link, copy paste, and share with a friend. So I'm going to first go back over to my editor. Inside of my index.html file, I'm going to add in a little HTML that I'm going to display to the user after they enter some text and then submit the form. So right after the div with class card panel, I'll find the closing div for that. I'll give myself a little bit of space, and then I'll open up a new div. I'm going to put in share this link with a friend, and then an input like so. So we're going to try to select this input right here and put in the encrypted string that we want the user to share with their friend. Just to make sure that it's really easy to select that input versus that input with the query selector, I'm going to add in an ID to the second input right here of link-input. Again, just to make it easier to select. I'll do the same thing with the first input as well. I'll give that one an ID of message-input. Again, just adding the IDs on so we can select them very easily from our JavaScript code and not get confused about which input is which. So I'll then go back over to my index.js file. I'm going to first update the selector that we used to get that input right there. I'll change it to the ID that we just added in, so that is pound message-input. So we're then going to take the value out of it, that's input.value, and convert it into a base 64 string. So I'll say const encrypted is B2A base, input.value. There we go. I'm then going to take that encrypted value and throw it into the second input that we just created. So I first have to add in a selector for it. So I'll do a document.querySelector pound link-input. And I'll set the value of it equal to encrypted. Okay, so let's save this and see how we're doing. I'm going to make sure I save both those files, go back over to the browser, I'll refresh. I see this second input appear right there. So I'm going to throw in some text, hit create, and there's our base 64 encrypted string. So we're going to eventually add in a little bit more text to this thing right here, and then a user is going to select this, copy it, and share it with their friend. So quick pause right here, and we'll take care of that stuff in the next video.